1978 gave us disco fever, but also some incredible one-hit wonders that defined the year. These 10 songs climbed the charts once and vanished, leaving behind stories you've never heard. Loleatta Holloway was already a gospel powerhouse when producer Dan Hartman convinced her to record Love Sensation for his Sal Soul Records project. The song became her biggest secular hit, reaching #1 on the dance charts and establishing her as disco royalty. Today at 78, Holloway still performs occasionally, though she's largely retired from the music industry and focuses on her family in Chicago. Now, here's what most people don't know. Love Sensation became one of the most sampled songs in hip-hop history, but Holloway never received proper royalties for decades. When Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch used her vocals for Good Vibrations in 1991, she had to sue to get credited and paid. The legal battle revealed how many disco artists got screwed over by record labels who sold their masters without proper compensation agreements. By 1978, Frankie Valli was supposedly past his prime when Bee Gees manager Robert Stigwood approached him about recording the title track for John Travolta's new movie. Valli was initially reluctant, thinking the song was too different from his Four Seasons style, but his daughter convinced him to take the risk. The gamble paid off spectacularly. Grease hit #1 and gave Valli his biggest solo success. Now at 90, Valli still tours regularly, though his voice has obviously changed dramatically from his falsetto heyday. The controversy around Grease involves Valli's alleged connections to organized crime figures in New Jersey. FBI surveillance tapes from the late 1970s captured conversations between known mobsters discussing Valli's career and suggesting they had influence over his bookings and record deals. While Valli has never been charged with anything, the tapes revealed that several prominent entertainers had closer ties to organized crime than the public ever knew. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying these stories, and subscribe for more music history that doesn't make it into the official biographies. And share this with someone who lived through 1978. Australian singer Samantha Sang had been trying to break into the American market for years when the Bee Gees handed her Emotion in 1977.
Just emotion, let's take it.
Barry Gibb produced the track himself, and his distinctive backing vocals are all over the recording, essentially making it a Bee Gees song performed by someone else. The strategy worked perfectly. Emotion reached #3 in the U.S. and became Sang's only major hit. She returned to Australia in the 1980s and now works as a real estate agent in Melbourne, completely out of the music business. Sang's real controversy came from her alleged affair with Barry Gibb during the recording sessions. Multiple industry insiders claim that the two were romantically involved, despite Gibb being married at the time. The rumors persisted for years, especially since Sang never recorded another song with the Bee Gees despite Emotion's massive success. Both parties have always denied the affair, but the sudden end to their professional relationship raised eyebrows throughout the industry. Because the Night came together when Bruce Springsteen abandoned an unfinished song during his Darkness on the Edge of Town sessions, producer Jimmy Levine played the instrumental track for Patti Smith, who immediately wrote new lyrics and transformed it into a passionate love song about her relationship with photographer Fred Sonic Smith. The collaboration between punk poetry and mainstream rock sensibilities created Smith's only top 20 hit. Smith, now 77, continues to tour and write, recently completing a memoir about her early years in New York. The song's controversy centers around Smith's radical political views and her relationship with the Weather Underground, a domestic terrorist organization active in the 1970s. FBI documents released years later revealed that Smith was under government surveillance during the height of her fame, with agents monitoring her concerts and recording her political statements. Some critics argue that mainstream radio stations shouldn't have been playing music by someone connected to violent political movements, though Smith always maintained she was a poet, not a terrorist. British singer-songwriter Chris Rea was working as a graphic designer when he wrote "Fool If You Think It's Over" about overcoming a difficult breakup.
Fool if you think it's over.
The song's smooth, soulful sound was completely different from the punk and disco dominating 1978, but it struck a chord with American audiences and reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. Rea went on to have a successful career in Europe, though he never again cracked the American Top 40. Now 72, he's largely retired from touring due to health issues, but still records occasionally. Rea's dark secret involves his struggles with depression and multiple suicide attempts during his early career. In interviews decades later, he revealed that the success of "Fool" actually made his mental health worse, not better. The pressure to repeat his American success led to severe anxiety and what he described as a complete breakdown in 1979. He spent months in therapy and credited his wife with saving his life, though he kept his mental health struggles hidden from the public for over 20 years. Time for another reminder: smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends who remember when MTV actually played music videos. Lenny LeBlanc and Pete Carr were Nashville session musicians who decided to record together after meeting during a Muscle Shoals recording session. "Falling" was actually the B-side of their intended single, but radio DJs flipped the record and made it a hit instead. The song reached number 13 and earned them a Grammy nomination, but their follow-up singles failed to chart. LeBlanc later became a successful Christian music artist, while Carr continued as a session guitarist until his death in 2020. LeBlanc, now 74, still performs in Christian music circles. The duo's controversy involved their alleged cocaine use during recording sessions, which was rampant in Nashville during the late 1970s. Industry insiders claim that LeBlanc and Carr were part of a group of musicians who regularly used drugs during studio work, and that several record executives were aware of the problem but ignored it as long as the music sold. The drug culture in Nashville during this period contributed to several overdoses and ruined careers, though it wasn't publicly acknowledged until the 1980s. Odyssey was a trio of singers from the Bronx who had been performing in clubs for years before "Native New Yorker" became their breakthrough hit.
You're a native New Yorker.
The song was written specifically about the experience of growing up in New York City during the turbulent 1970s, and its disco funk groove perfectly captured the urban sound of the era. Lead singer Lillian Lopez's powerful vocals drove the song to number 21 on the pop charts, and the group continued recording throughout the 1980s, but never matched this success. Lopez died in 2012, while the surviving members occasionally perform reunion shows. The controversy surrounding Odyssey involves the song's connection to New York's financial crisis and urban decay. Native New Yorker became popular just as the city was experiencing massive budget cuts, rising crime, and white flight to the suburbs. Some critics argued that the song romanticized a city that was actually falling apart, while others saw it as a defiant celebration of urban resilience. The debate reflected larger cultural tensions about race, class, and the future of American cities. Toby Beau was a Texas-based band that had been playing the club circuit for years when guitarist Danny McKenna wrote "My Angel Baby" about his girlfriend. The soft rock ballad was completely different from their harder sound they usually played, but it became their only hit, reaching number 13 in 1978. The band broke up in 1980 after failing to duplicate their success. McKenna continued writing songs for other artists, while lead singer Rob Young left music entirely and became a successful businessman in Austin. The band scandal involved a bitter lawsuit with their record label over unpaid royalties and creative control. Court documents revealed that Toby Beau had signed an extremely unfavorable contract that gave them almost no control over their music or image. When they tried to renegotiate after My Angel Baby became a hit, the label refused and essentially froze them out of the industry. The case became a cautionary tale about how inexperienced musicians could be exploited by unscrupulous record executives. Jay Ferguson had already enjoyed success with the bands Spirit and JoJo Gunn before launching his solo career in 1977. Thunder Island was inspired by his childhood memories of visiting his grandmother's house near a lake, and the song's dreamy, nostalgic feel resonated with listeners who were experiencing their own midlife reflections. The song reached number 9 and became Ferguson's biggest hit. He later became a successful television composer, scoring shows like The A-Team and Viper. Now 75, Ferguson continues to work in film and television music. Ferguson's controversy involves his admitted extensive LSD use during his time with Spirit in the late 1960s and early 1970s. In later interviews, he revealed that he and his bandmates were taking psychedelic drugs almost daily, and that many of their songs were written while under the influence. Ferguson claimed that Thunder Island was actually inspired by an acid flashback rather than a genuine childhood memory, raising questions about the authenticity of the emotions expressed in the song. Canadian rock band Stonebolt had been struggling to gain recognition when I Will Still Love You became an unexpected hit in the United States, reaching number 24 on the Billboard Hot 100. The power ballad showcased lead singer Ray Roper's impressive vocal range and became a staple of soft rock radio. Despite the success, the band never achieved another American hit and eventually disbanded in the early 1980s. Roper died in 2008, while the surviving members occasionally reunite for Canadian music festivals. Stonebolt's dark secret involves the suspicious circumstances surrounding their record deal and the sudden death of their original manager in 1977. Industry rumors suggested that the manager had discovered financial irregularities involving the band's Canadian label and was planning to expose them when he died in a car accident. While no criminal charges were ever filed, several music industry insiders believed the timing was too convenient and that someone wanted to keep certain business practices quiet. These 10 songs prove that 1978 was more than just disco and punk. It was a year when diverse artists created lasting music despite personal struggles and industry controversies. Each track tells a story about the music business, fame, and the price of success. So, like this video if you learned something new, and subscribe for more untold music stories. And let us know in the comments which of these songs you remember best. The music industry has always had its dark side, but great songs somehow survive everything.